Well, I'm not hourly, so I guess it's sort of irrelevant, but
I mean, you could be like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm going to put 3 hours in tonight to do stuff with the brigade. So, I can take off
yeah.
another day or whatever.
I mean, I do need to do check-ins with brigade like leadership teams quarterly, but like
Not quite the same thing.
that's not quite weekly.
Is that a new thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was something they were trying to do for a while, and then like staff turnover and all this stuff. So it's something that we're trying to pick back up, like starting with a check-in on how everyone's doing with remote pack nights, and then like going forward trying to get on a quarterly check-in cadence.
Okay. That sounds like I mean, I like the sound of that plan. I don't know. I don't have any organizational experience that tells me like what kind of impact it can have, but
I think for me right now, it's like really helpful to just be more familiar with like the different types of work that's happening around the country. Like I don't always know what cool projects people are doing. So it's fun to learn about that stuff and get to know people.
that's cool.
Yeah, what is the most interesting project you've seen from a non-Code for Boston brigade?
There was a brigade project stand-up yesterday, and a guy from Code for Seattle built this really cool mapping thing that was like using OpenStreetMap to do traffic simulations, and you could like simulate the daily. What was it called? Street AB or Traffic AB. I'll find the link and send it to you. But it's this really cool thing where you can be like, what if this person who commutes to work on a bike goes from here to here, and like what changes in street network will like affect their commute to work. It looked like a very cool toy. I mean, from a like building a fun thing on a map, it was very cool. I have no context to know if like this is like traffic engineer approved to be accurate, but it was still a cool thing.
The one thing I have, like concerns I have about those problems, I feel like the city already has something like that already works.
Yeah, and professional traffic engineers certainly have like traffic flow simulation tools, but I think sort of democratizing that stuff and giving people a more like evidence-based way to advocate for like, we need a contraflow bike lane on Charles Street, which we do.
Yeah, at MAPC, we're using a tool called Graph-Hopper that does similar thing, primarily to identify the value of adding in bicycle routes in between census tracts. And of course, we evaluated every possible bicycle route against every possible bicycle track using a bunch of supercomputers in the cloud. Because that's just how we roll at MAPC. And so I'll have to see if I can dig out. I think we did at least a first publication on it. It's probably not as user-friendly as what they're showing off last night, but it's definitely, I think, the kind of tool that folks can benefit from, and something that folks are actually thinking about. So I like that one.
The other really cool one that was presented last night, which folks have probably seen, Code for Anchorage developed a land acknowledgement SMS bot where you text your city and state or zip code to a phone number, and it will return with which tribe's indigenous land you're on. And it's been up for about a week and a half, and they've already gotten 150,000 requests. I've seen it from multiple people online who are like in links to activism, like no connection to Code for America. And so right now the response time is like 40 minutes or an hour because they're getting more than a text a second, and Twilio can only turn around responses at the rate of 1 text per second, at least how they have it set up. So they're definitely seeing some unexpected, but I would imagine somewhat welcome growing pains.
Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds great. And I will make sure to plug, I think the link to the brigade stand-up is on the Code for America YouTube now. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe I don't know if M has posted the recording yet, but I'm sure that they will once soon if they have not already.
All right. Well, folks should definitely check that out. And with that, let's get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Code for Boston. My name is Matt, and I am on the core team here at Code for Boston, along with Alex. We got Thad and some other folks who are here and able to help. If you have questions, need help with anything, have any concerns, feel free to message one of us either on Zoom or Slack, and we can certainly help you out. The way this is going to work is we're going to have opening remarks and announcements. And then after opening remarks and announcements, we'll have project updates. And after project updates, new folks will get to stay with us here in this Zoom call. And everyone else can head off to their respective hack nights. So that being said, first and foremost, announcements, read our code of conduct. It's at codeforboston.org/code of conduct. The gist is that this is supposed to be a respectful environment. And if you feel like folks are not being respectful with you, then talk to one of us or email hello@codeforboston.org, and we'll be more than happy to take care of that. Also, just want to encourage folks to follow us on social media. Just spent the time loading up our social media with content for the week. So of course we are live on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our email newsletter will be coming out tomorrow. I have a whole bunch of jobs. So if you're civic tech job hunting, certainly some interesting job opportunities. And even if you're not civic tech job hunting, maybe some jobs that can tempt you to start civic tech job hunting if you're thinking about wanting to think about something new. Also, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you're interested in contributing content to any of these channels, feel free to send me a message on Slack or join the Suggest a Tweet channel in Slack, and we will be able to share that content widely. I also want to encourage folks to continue to go to our meetup at meetup.com/codeforboston. RSVPing to the meetup is a way that a lot of folks will learn about Code for Boston, and it helps boost us in the meetup algorithm. So just want to encourage folks to do that. I also do see a message that the link to the Slack is offline, which is usually slack.codeforboston.org. So we will take a look at that after the announcements, so I can try and figure out how to get folks in there. Community inviter, our host for the Slack invites, might be down. So folks can always email their email address to hello@codeforboston.org, and we can get you an invitation manually as well. All right, and now I'm seeing, I guess it's back up, so that is great. Make sure to go to the Zoom if you're going to give a project update, or if you're new and want to get oriented. That is at codeforboston.org/room/CFB. So that way I try and keep that updated with the latest Zoom link for our orientation. Of course, just like I said, Slack at slack.codeforboston.org, where a lot of our conversation happens. And then if you want to support us, the easiest way is to go to the Code for America website /donate to a brigade and pick out Code for Boston. Our needs are not large, but we are community supported. We have some donors that are giving a good amount of money, and definitely need that support to continue doing the work that we do, and hopefully pay for some of the events and other expenses of the brigade. So that's the easiest way to contribute. And of course, if your organization wants to sponsor us or set up some kind of arrangement, feel free to email hello@codeforboston or reach out to me or Harlan, and we'll be more than happy to figure out some kind of sponsorship arrangement with your organization. So events coming up, we have National Day of Civic Hacking, and that's going to be on September 12th, 2020. That is our major event. And so anyways, we are going to be doing a focus on the social safety net. And I'll let Alex just talk for a minute about National Day, you know, what we're thinking and what happens at a National Day.
Doesn't have to be exactly a minute. As Matt said, it's going to be September 12th, and it's going to be in, actually, this year's tagline is people over paperwork. I think it's strengthening the social safety net, something interesting like that. So this year we're looking to try and bring in some organizations to kind of give talks about how over this, I guess, season, how they've the new problems and issues they've had to deal with, and maybe, you know, how they've ended up solving them, or, you know, maybe they still have some problems that they need solved. So we're looking to bring in people to give talks about, you know, how they're managing, you know, this year. Hopefully we'll have some fun projects and activities to do during the day. We're still trying to finalize that stuff. So if there's anything that you think should be there, hit me up on Slack or one of us, and we'll try and include it.
Great. Thanks, Alex. And yeah, definitely want to encourage folks to contribute their ideas for National Day content. We'll be working on that over the next couple of weeks. Alex has been leading the charge. And then also we are open to National Day sponsors as well. So if your organization would like to send, I don't know, socks to a whole bunch of folks that are participating in National Day virtually, just feel free to reach out to me or Alex or Harlan, and we'll be more than happy to figure out how to include you in our day and let you kind of support our work. All right, so project updates. We'll be going through talking about what we did last week, what folks are doing tonight, and what they need. And let's start with My City.
Hey everyone, last week we wrapped up some improvements to the onboarding and kind of deployment process of My City. So it should be much easier for new people to join. So if you're looking to join, it's a great time. Today, we started working on some fixes to the coronavirus update intent. So you can ask the skill, what's the latest updates from the city? We had some fixes there as well as some improvements. So I'm hoping we can merge that in today.
Great, thanks, Jamie. Next is Safe Water.
Hey, I'm from Safe Water. We're working on the like a flagging app and some other stuff for the CRWA. Last week we bug fixed some Postgres. Lewis did a very good job finding a bug and helping us. We worked together to fix it. And we also worked on some data visualization in the other group with ArcGIS. This week, I don't know if we'll be onboarding, but you can always check out our GitHub and read through it if you're interested in the flagging project. And if you're interested in data viz, you can just reach out to Anita.
Great, thanks. Next is harm reduction.
Awesome, thanks, Matt. So last week, we talked about kind of what our next steps might be and how to get in touch with our partner, as well as generating some questions for, I guess, a partner of our partner. And tonight we are going to be talking with him as well as doing some sprint planning for next month. So usually we're taking in UX researchers, but tonight I'm not sure that we'll have very much for new people.
All right, thanks, Maya. Next is Job Hopper.
Yeah, hi, this is Ed. I will step in for Annie. I see that she's not here, but we've been building up our development environment and also continuing to do some design on some of the scenarios that are issues in GitHub. This week, we're going to continue to work on that. And we need people who are good with Python and some UX people as well to help figure out how we're going to visualize this data.
All right, thanks, Ed. We got Vita EITC is still on hiatus because tax season just ended. So next is Plug Along.
Hi. Last week we worked on some bug fixes in the login process and also getting rid of some unnecessary re-renders and making sure the keyboard goes away when you don't want it to appear. This week we got a couple pull requests to look at on the achievement screen and I think on the login screen as well. So we're working in React Native and Firebase.
Sounds great to me. Next is Clean Slate.
Yeah, so last week we had a lot of great success with setting up automated testing for our DocAssemble repos. And we're gonna start looking at our next iteration for the Ceiling app. Still having conversations with our partners, working on hosting for getting our first version of the Ceiling app live. And we are finalizing details on the list of expungible offenses that we're going to use for analyzing the Massachusetts prosecution data. If you're interested in data analysis in Python or helping with project management, those are some of the things we're looking for this week.
Awesome. And last but not least is Windfall Awareness.
Thank you, Matt. And I think everyone on the YouTube might have seen my link in the comments, but this week's website didn't point to this Zoom. So if you do want to join for the orientation, definitely try to find the link that I posted in the comments. I know there's like 10 people watching. So back to this. So Windfall Awareness is a project on Social Security. And last week we've been working on this official calculator C++ JavaScript class to read a format that the government publishes, or the government kind of manages. And so we're making good progress on that. It's been a long process of many months. So if what we're looking for is people that might want to learn how to do typed classes in JavaScript using TypeScript, and might be curious to learn how to integrate a C++ app into a React app, and especially with React hooks. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, feel free to join tonight.
Great. Thanks, Thad. So those are all our project updates. So folks that are already in projects can head off to your particular project. New folks can stay here and we will get the live stream ended and start orientation shortly. Thanks so much for dropping by and happy hacking, everyone.
Later.